you mentioned before, rates are going to continue to increase over the year. Home values are increasing at the same time with inflation and everything else. Are we going to have a 2008 nosedive?
No, it's not going to be Groundhog Day 2008. If you can afford to buy a home, keep looking. It's not doomsday. If you're determined, you will find one.
Let's say I'm a house hunter, right? I'm one of those 44,500 people that are trying to get into a home today.
Yes.
Any tips when it comes to negotiating price? Can we even do that anymore?
It is definitely a seller's market. It is not the buyer's market. When it's a buyer's market, you can negotiate. You can ask for seller paid closing costs. There's lots of things that you can negotiate, but that just is not happening in the market right now. In fact, most offers are coming in above the asking price.
Yeah.
And then even some things that are crazier than that, some buyers are waiving appraisals. And when they give earnest money, it's referred to as hard earnest money, meaning once you make an offer, you don't get that back if you don't buy the home. So it is a scary time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So interesting. So anything that I can do to avoid as a buyer getting into a bidding war?
That's going to be your personal choice. And you're going to definitely want to work with your agent on that, because I do think so many times there are bidding wars right now. But again, it's going to go back to knowing what you qualify for and what you're comfortable in paying. Don't get into a bidding war if you do not want to pay more than what you've already thought in your mind. This is what I want to pay. This is what I'm comfortable with. Don't get into a bidding war.
Okay. I love that. What are your thoughts on investment properties? Are people even able to get these anymore, or is it just like insane?
That we do a ton of investment loans.
You do? Okay.
There are so many investors out there, which makes the inventory so low too, is because these investors are coming in and purchasing these homes. And that's okay, because that's their business.
Yeah.
But it does make it harder for the home buyer that wants to buy a home as a primary residence, where they want to make their dream of home ownership come true. It's just not happening as much because of investors.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
So when it comes to investment properties and maybe the increase in them, how does that affect everything else? I mean, is that why rent's so high, or is it just home values? Like,
it does affect home values, and it definitely affects rent.
Okay.
Home values have gone up in double digits in most of the states we have our footprint in the last 2 years, and rents have gone up drastically. And it is definitely a rough time out there for anyone who wants to buy a home. And then if they can't purchase a home, to find somewhere that's affordable to rent. That is a big issue as well.
Hey, just crazy.
It is crazy.
So, I mean, we're kind of like Debbie Downer today, Kara.
I know. I'm sorry.
Where is the hope? Like, what can people do?
The hope would be, if you can afford to buy a home, keep looking. Okay. You may have to make 5, 10, 15 offers before yours will be accepted. But keep looking. It's not doomsday.
Okay.
Rates are going up. Inventory is at a low. But if you're determined, you will find one.
Okay. I love that. And it sounds like you can get some people to help you, right? People
Absolutely.
on your side.
Yes.
Okay.
Contact a loan officer. They will definitely be a guide and help you. And then an agent is always a great idea to have.
Okay. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about construction.
Yes.
Right? Because that's an option.
Great option.
If you can't find that perfect house, you can always build one.
Right.
What are your thoughts on inventory and construction loans and what that's looking like?
Construction is a hot topic right now. So much construction. The market is a little bit touchy, I guess, based on supply and demand. We've all heard about supply issues. Yep. And so builders are having those same issues. So it may take longer to build a home than you had first anticipated, but a new construction loan is a great option, especially in the Salt Lake Valley. There's not a lot of land here.
Yes.
So in outlying communities and counties, there are opportunities to purchase land. And if you're not ready to build a home right now, you can always look at doing a lot loan, purchase the property now, secure that, And then when you are ready, you can start a construction loan.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And eventually that'll turn into a mortgage.
It will.
All of that. Okay.
Yes.
Very, very cool.
Much.
Very cool. So as far as construction goes, are we just trending crazy? Are we just building ourselves out of all of the land in the Intermountain West? Or what are your thoughts? Have we increased in the amount of construction that we've done?
It has. I wish I knew an exact number of permits issued in the state of Utah or the other states we have a footprint in. And I apologize, I don't have those numbers, but those are definitely on the rise.
Okay.
There are more and more homes that are being built due to the lack of inventory.
Okay. That's just crazy. So talking about investment properties again, let's say I'm interested in getting an investment property. What does that process look like?
An investment property is very similar to purchasing a primary residence. There are different guidelines, different rules that you have to follow.
Okay.
At Mountain America, we have a great program that will allow you to purchase an investment property with as little as 10% down. So it's a great option. It could be an avenue of continued revenue for you as the investor. And if you are qualified, it is a great loan to get.
Okay.
If you want to be a landlord. Not everybody wants to be a landlord.
Yes.
But if you do,
tell us about being a landlord. That sounds terrifying.
It is terrifying. I'm not a landlord. I don't own an investment property because I don't want to be a landlord.
Okay, fair enough. But we do have a lot of investment.
We do a lot of investment.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Very, very interesting. So what goes into that? Like, I already have a mortgage. I need to qualify for a second one. Does that still mean I need to have 45% of my, what was that you said?
Your debt to income.
Debt to income.
Yes.
All below that.
They still qualify that same way.
Okay.
But if you're purchasing an investment property, you can use the rental income to offset the mortgage payment.
Which rental income right now might be
It's great.
wonderful.
Yes.
Okay.
Rents have gone up. Now is a great time to be an investor.
How interesting. Okay. So anyways, you guys all
Great
heard
question.
it from Kara. Go get an investment property if you can find one.
Yes, if you can find one.
I love it. I love it. So, Kara, for individuals that maybe have different situations, we know every situation is going to be dependent upon your income and exactly your specific scenario. So, best to meet with a mortgage loan officer and an agent and get that all figured out. But for those of us that maybe do have certain qualifiers that we could, we don't have to have a down payment, maybe. Tell me about some of those programs that are offered.
Okay. The credit union has several great programs that will allow home buyers to get into a home with no down payment.
Okay.
We have a first-time home buyer. That is an awesome option. And we also have a loan program called our Everyday Hero. So that would be first responders, police officers, teachers, just anyone that you would think would be an everyday hero, they would qualify for that program. And it allows them to purchase a home without a down payment as well. So those are two awesome programs. And then for our amazing veterans, thank you so much for those that have served. We do VA loans as well. And those loans do not require a down payment either. So those are all great options that members can look at to use to get into a home with no down payment.
Okay. So even if you don't know, probably good to ask.
Absolutely.
Right?
Contact us. We can talk about your situation. Every situation is very individual, and we can see what options are available to you and your situation.
Okay, love it. So, Kara, let's say, I remember back to when I was buying my first home, right? And I sat down with a mortgage loan officer and obviously did a whole bunch of research by myself. And they're like, okay, 20% down is for your down payment. And I'm sitting there doing the math and I'm like, I don't have that. Like, oh my gosh, this seems like just the process overall. You talk about, I got to get a mortgage. Like, I don't know. Does everyone else in the world out there have severe anxiety like I did, where it was like, okay, I got to sign 1 million documents. They got to take my blood sample and test it and make sure I'm going to qualify, and then come back with more questions right before I'm supposed to close. Like, walk us through this process and why it can be stressful, and maybe bring us back to reality, Kara, of what this actually looks like.
Happily. Bring you back to reality. I do think it is very terrifying for first-time homebuyers. They've never experienced this. But if you purchase a second home or a third-time home, you kind of get it down, right?
Yeah.
But it's the unknown. we all get nervous or have anxiety when it's the
Yes.
unknown. Even if you're unsure if you want to purchase a home or not, but you're even just thinking about it, if it might even be the slightest option, talk to one of our loan officers.
Okay.
They can give you the ins and outs, tell you all about why you should buy a home. And if it's not the right time, they're going to tell you that too.
Okay.
But the whole process starts by getting pre-approved like we had talked about. And then the fun begins. It's
Okay.
getting out, looking for a home, working with an agent. We call that the fun part, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then the work begins. Once you find an offer, you're going to contact your loan officer and they're going to make sure that all the documents that they've gathered from you are accurate and current. If it's been a month or two, they're going to ask for some updated bank statements,
Okay.
W-2s, pay stubs, things of that sort to make sure that all of your numbers still qualify and fit into the budget that you've already talked about. And then they're going to have an appraisal ordered.
Okay.
That appraisal is going to tell you the value of the home. And we use that as a lender. It also gives us the idea of the condition of the home.
Yeah.
If it's livable, if it meets all of our guidelines. And they're going to order a title report that lets us know who's currently on title, that will be guaranteed a position on title, and that the home buyers will be able to take possession of the home. And then the loan goes to underwriting. That's where someone verifies and documents that everything in the file meets our guidelines. And once that happens, then typically you are ready to close. And the process takes about 30 days from start to finish.
Okay.
Unless you're in a rural area. Unfortunately, if you're in a rural area, appraisers could be a little bit more sparse and
Okay.
it could take a little bit longer, possibly 10 days. But typically 30 days is about an average to
Okay.
close.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. Would you say it can go faster than 30 days though? You said 30
It can.
days is an average.
30
but
days is an average.
If,
It could
I have a
close.
specific time frame I'm trying to get it in, is that possible?
It is.
Okay.
A week, not possible.
Okay.
But maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks is possible.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Love it. So Kara, as you mentioned before, rates are going to continue to increase over the year. Home values are increasing at the same time with inflation and everything
Yes.
else that we've talked about. I mean, when is this going to end? Are we going to have a 2008 nosedive?
No.
Okay.
It's not going to be Groundhog Day 2008. It's
Okay,
not. We're not
good.
going there.
Okay.
It is anticipated that rates are definitely going to be on the rise throughout this year.
Okay. And then do you think home values are going to continue as well? Is it going to level out? What do you think?
I really hope we see a leveling out. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think the market can hold that rising values as they have been in the past. I do think we'll see a leveling out, which gives me a little bit of hope for home buyers that they will be able to qualify for a home.
Okay. But again, with inventory shortages,
Mhm.
I shouldn't wait around for that, right?
No.
Okay.
Buy now. If you can afford it, buy a home. It's a great time. It's a great investment, and you're going to start building equity. Everybody wants to have the dream of home ownership. Now is a great time.
So Kara, let's say I have a mortgage. I'm one of those home owners, which, right? So many people
Congratulations.
yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But once we have a mortgage, now the goal is to not have a mortgage.
To
right?
pay it off.
Yeah, let's actually own this thing. What are your tips for maybe paying off that mortgage early, or any advice that you have for people that are actually homeowners?
Paying off a mortgage early is absolutely the best. There's a couple of ways you can do it.
Okay.
One way is to make an extra payment every year. That typically over the life of a 30-year loan could save you up to 7 years on your mortgage. And it is drastically going to reduce the amount of interest that you pay. And if you can't afford to come up with one payment every year, an extra payment, take that one payment, divide it by 12, and then make that small amount every single month for 12 months. And that will do the same thing as making one additional payment every year.
Oh
And
my
it is a
gosh.
great way to reduce your mortgage quickly and to reduce the amount of interest that you're going to pay over the life of the loan.
I love that. Okay, wait. So tell me one more time. If I make an extra mortgage payment, I'm
Mhm.
paying off my mortgage 7 years early.
It can be up to 7
Oh my
years quicker.
gosh. Okay. So that's a lot of interest.
Oh, Yes. A lot of interest.
Okay. All right. So all of you out there, to get out of that mortgage early, make that extra payment.
Yes.
Full payment, interest included, just principal. What are your thoughts?
Actually, it doesn't have to be the full payment because that's going to include your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Yeah.
So it needs to be at least the principal and interest that you're paying every month. You don't have to include your escrow into that.
Okay. Awesome.